Hello, hello, hello. Good night. We are live. EMP, Team on Fire, testimonials, and how we use Ignition Live Coaching to.
Why is it going live? Did you create
1 second. 1 second.
Google Hangout on air?
Yes, I did.
Okay, because I'm not seeing. It's saying live, but we aren't seeing.
Are we in? Cindy, invite.
Yeah, but it's supposed to go. Okay, I'm seeing you, but I'm not seeing. Okay, send me the link on. Got it?
Ah, here comes Katrina. I sent you the invite.
Yeah, but it should be in the community, the challenge. It should be.
I have to put the invite in the community.
Yeah.
Okay, let me go to the community. Hello, Katrina.
Holy cow, are you trying to stress me out, young lady?
You see, this Monday and Tuesday, one is 9, one is 9:30. You know, I'm thinking I'm early. I'm going to be there 15 minutes early, and then, you know, I'm late because I'm on Tuesday's time, you know. So, sorry. I'm trying to get
We've all done that. We've all been through it, and it's all part of the learning process.
I'll find it.
Okay.
Bernie?
Yes.
Go up to the top of your screen and go to invite.
The person plus.
And just put in EMP Team on Fire, and the community should pop up for you.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then it's going to ask you where in the community you want to post it, under discussion or replay of Hangout, wherever you want to put it in the category. And then just hit enter.
Okay. I'll put it in discussion and enter.
And then make sure you send it to that. And then that is what puts it into the community for everybody to get into.
Okay.
That invites the team to be part of this.
Yep.
Otherwise, all people can do is just watch it.
Right. Are we making it? EMP. Right. Discussion. Okay, sent it. Excellent. So everybody got the invite.
Yep.
There she is.
See, she was just waiting for the invite.
How does it feel to be in charge of the control tower?
I'm sweating, man. I'm sweating.
That's okay. That's okay.
Because I'm getting ready and I'm thinking, oh, you know, I should have made a PowerPoint of all those pictures from the IG coaching thing because I wanted to show my favorite parts of the whole IG, you know, layout. But
sure, that's okay. That's okay.
Next time, I'll do a next one.
This is what we call winging it, and
yes.
We do this a lot in this world, apparently. So you're in a good place. You're actually right on track. It's called like, oh shit, and then it's like, okay, how do I do this?
Well,
yeah, believe it or not, I'm the one that was waiting for. I was actually waiting for an invite tonight instead of showing up late. So, you know,
He's texting me. He's like, oh my god, do I panic? Do I not panic? I'm like,
is it panic time? I invited a lot of people to watch what we're doing tonight. So, you know, I mean, this is our kind of open forum for anybody and everybody.
Yeah, me sweating more.
Okay. Oh, we're live already.
Yeah, we're live. We're live.
Oh, fantastic.
We are live. We were live while you were you were finished getting dressed there.
Oh my
God! You want to put your makeup on now?
So,
okay, yeah. Hillary, where is your voice? Nod if you are hearing. Shall we go into IG live coaching?
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and start taking us through the EMP system with Ignition coaching and showing what that looks like, I think that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, let's invite or welcome anybody who's viewing this who's not a member of the team. Thanks for watching what's going on, and you'll get a kind of an inside look at what we're doing in Team on Fire and what it is that we do that helps turn internet newbies into marketing leaders. And there's Bernadette, she's running the show tonight, so take it away.
Well, I'm going to be running the show with my partner Hillary when she gets to put her voice on and her face on. Okay, thank you, Doug and Katrina, very much for inviting me to step up and be a leader in this community, this awesome community of EMP Team on Fire. We started this program, or EMP Elite Marketing Pro gave us this program. It's called Intensive. No, what does IG stand for?
Ignition.
Ignition. So I'm calling it IG. It's the Ignition live coaching that they added on to our Elite Marketing Pro marketing platform back in December, and we were like, oh, so excited. And I was just racing through all the modules to see, get all the wonderful stuff. And I wanted to share with you, the viewers, as well as my leaders, Doug and Katrina, share with you my great takeaway from, I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3 modules, and Hillary is supposed to do 4 and 5 if she ever gets on, because she is in Tobago. So we'll see how great her connection is. Okay, so now Ignition Coaching is a combination of pre-recorded courses as well as a live coach 15-minute session with a person that you actually speak one-on-one with via Skype or whatever medium you choose to answer the questions and the how-tos and how you're going to implement the videos that you just saw. So the Ignition Coaching is made up of 12 modules, and we have gone through 5 modules so far. And for module 1, it really talks about, well, the big takeaway I got from module 1 is that you got to think wealthy, think like a wealthy person if you seriously want to make a footprint, if you want to make headway in this awesome industry called home-based business. And really, it does apply also to brick and mortar business, but the entrepreneur, the person who wants to figure out how to market what they're doing, module 1 helps you to understand that you need to think like a wealthy person, because when you think like a wealthy person, taking risks is not much of a big, it's not an obstacle, because wealthy people understand that you need to take risks. And they understand also that what it is that you're going for is the better thing versus what it is that you're afraid of. So you put whatever you're afraid of behind you and you go for what you are aiming at. And the big thing about being in a live coaching, Ignition coaching program that Elite Marketing Pro has put together for us is that you're not doing it alone. All right? Module 2, my big takeaway was empty your cup. It may sound very simple, but emptying your cup is I mean, I've been on calls with people, and every time I ask them, okay, so what are you doing now? And they tell me what they're doing now. And then I said, well, what if we go into working with a community and really learning how to understand how Facebook works, or whatever it is that they were doing. Say, let's say they were doing Facebook ads, and I asked them, well, how many, what's your cost per click? And they're like, I don't know. All I know is I got 1,000 and I spent X amount. It's like, well, then you can calculate what your cost per click is. So that kind of tells you that they really don't know what they're doing Facebook ads. So I asked them a question, well, would you like help in doing your Facebook ads better? No, I'm fine. No, that just kind of tells you they're not ready to empty their cup. All right? So if you really want to do well in your home-based business, in your venture that you want to do, you've got to empty your cup, and you've got to be willing to listen to people who have done these steps before you. All right? And also understand the concept that right now, at the beginning of any venture, you're going to be working hard, you're going to be learning a lot, but you're always keeping in mind, the focus has to be, I want to continue working, but the focus has to be, I want to work less, and the results has to get bigger than the amount of work. So it's that 80-20 principle of 20% of your work gives you 80% of your results. And that's what Module 2 focuses on. In Module 3, they give us the breakdown of SMART goals. And this is really, really fantastic because and the way they put it out, I mean, they just went straight to the point. This is what you need to be doing. And they kind of help you to understand, break down what your goals should be. And they talk about SMART goals being specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-specific goals. And if you have your goals within that SMART framework, all right, it's going to work for you. And in particular, they give you examples of what SMART goals are versus not so SMART goals. And most of us fall in the not so SMART goals. So you realize, oh my gosh, I need to fix. Okay? So the quicker you fix, the quicker you empty your cup, the quicker you think like a wealthy person, the bigger and the more you're going to be able to get out of this ignition coaching. And you can say hello to my 9-year-old birthday boy who is celebrating 9 years since, I think we're on the 8th day now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're on the 8th day now.
Celebrating 9 days. All right, congratulations.
He's 9 years old and we've been 8 years of celebrating. So they start to say happy birthday.
Happy birthday, that's right. That's right.
So, I see Hillary's popping in and out. So
she is in and out. She always has a difficult connection, I think. So let me ask you a question. So in the first 3 modules, what was the most challenging part of getting through those first 3 modules for you?
Getting into your SMART goals. You know, it demands a lot of brain power. You know?
Yeah, you actually have to think. You actually, you got to put some thought into it. So, what was there's Hillary's beautiful smile. Thank you. Great to have you joining us. There we go. So, but Bernadette, what would you say was the biggest obstacle for you as far as establishing SMART goals, or what was the I guess the one biggest obstacle for you as far as creating a SMART goal?
Getting down to the 1 or 2 goals that I want to focus on, prioritizing which goal I want to happen now versus the one next 6 months or next 3 months or next 2 years. You know, that's the biggest issue because you want everything now. You know.
Right.
So, yeah. So the SMART goals help you to understand. Okay, we're not Superman, we're not Superwoman. Let's focus and let's get at least 2 things done. Do it well, and then we work on the rest. The rest is gonna fall into place.
Sure. Katrina, I'm sure you have something to add to this. I know for me, one thing that I see most of the people that I coach, they struggle with, is they pick a goal that's too big to begin with. They pick a big goal that's out there, and they really want that, but they don't have a real strong belief that they can actually achieve it. Mm-hmm. And so, what I typically work with people most often on is, it's like, what? let's take a step back. Let's not try for something that's so difficult to attain. Let's set a goal. What's something you would like to have that you absolutely know you can accomplish? And let's make that your goal. And just start with something small, and then you build up your confidence as you start checking off each of these things that you have accomplished. Gives you more confidence in being able to accomplish bigger and bigger things. And as you go along, then you just start setting bigger and bigger goals. And you know you can do them because you have that success momentum built up underneath you. So, Katrina, I'm gonna let you chat here.
No, I'm just in the background. I'm trying to get more of our team in here. Apparently, they're having some difficulties with the link getting in, Bernie. So if you want to take a moment and see if you can copy the invite link.
Do some more invites. Okay, and I'll be like Hillary. Go ahead.
Yep. So either copy the invite and then paste that actually in our Google Plus community to see if they can actually just use the link to get in, because there seems to be some struggle, but I know people are trying to get on. So I want to make sure EMP represents. Especially for a live broadcast like this that's open to everybody. I know we got people hanging out in the background. I want to make sure we get them on here. So that's Melativic. So if you have to mute yourself out and try to get them in, see what you guys can do.
Sure.
But honestly,
go ahead.
I have to agree. The SMART goals are probably one of the biggest struggles. As soon as people get to that point, it's like, I'm done. Like, this is too much. I had to think about this. I actually had to start. And I'll tell you guys right now, dreaming, because I struggled with it, and then the more I talk about how I've struggled with trying to build my own dreams and have those visions, was hard. Getting out of that corporate mindset where, you go to work and you just kind of go through your day, right? There's no real thought process behind it. And then all of a sudden you become an entrepreneur and you start working with Elite Marketing Pro, and you're asked to start dreaming, and you're asked to go big. And it's like, it's hard because you're like, I don't know what a dream is. We've actually lost that ability to imagine what our lives could be like because we're just so accepting of where we're at. So the dreaming big for me was hard because it was like, go big, like go for like the big car, the big house, the big this, but that wasn't what pulled me. Like, that wasn't my driving force in getting into this business. Mine was wrapped around my family or my future family. What drives me is being able to provide a stable future for my family. It's not the car, the house, the vacations. I mean, these are all great things you have with your money, but it's just knowing that when I have kids, I can stay home with them. And those are the things that we forget to dream about, and they just seem, there's no price on them, Like, you can't say it's going to take me $10,000 to reach, having a family. Like, it's not a financial goal. It's an emotional goal. And that's part of the process, I think, of what we do online, too, is a lot of it's got to be the emotion that pulls you to make it there. And the money will come and the money will develop based on that emotion that you have around it. Does that make sense? I mean, it's a little bit different than what they talk about, but don't be afraid to just say, hey, I want to make an extra $100 this month just so I can pay my phone bill. Right? Because like, and you alluded to that too. It's like the $10,000 is great to make a month, but if you don't actually believe, because you're not making $10,000 in your job, right? So your belief that money exists doesn't really exist, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I see is a lot of people, they get tied into, well, I want to make $10,000, $5,000, whatever it is, and it's like, my question then to them is like, okay, great. So if you're making $10,000, what would you do with it? And then they have to think again. And that's where the dream part of it. They don't want $10,000. They want the things they think that $10,000 is going to allow them to do. And so that's the question to ask yourself is, well, if I was making $10,000 a month, I didn't have to think about it. If every month on the first of the month, automatically $10,000 was dropped into my bank account, what would I do with that money? Would I let it sit there? What would I do? What would I do differently than I'm doing today? And that's that's where the dreaming part comes in. It's funny because I remember back when I was in high school, my most difficult teacher, the class that I struggled with the most, was a history class. And the first day of class, and it's still, I remember the history teacher's name was Richard Morosi was his name. And why I remember that is because he probably had more impact on me than just about anybody. The first day of class, the first thing he did is he came in, he walked into the classroom, and he wrote on the chalkboard, "It's hard to think." And he wrote his name underneath that. And then he turned around to the class, and he said, "This is what this year is going to be all about. I'm going to teach you how to think." And all of his tests that had nothing to do with memorizing stuff, it had to do with us learning, us having to think in order to learn. And so I still remember his name because it was underneath that quote. And it's not that thinking has to be hard, but it doesn't seem to it's natural for us as humans to want to just kind of go along and do what's easy and do whatever we can do without having to think about it. And when we do start thinking, when you actually sit down and actually think and create focused thought, you separate yourself from 90% of humanity, and that's what's going to really propel you forward. So there's our mindset lesson now. But I'm sorry, I got off on a rant there. So I'll take my philosophy hat off, and we can go forward with.
Oh no, but that is one of the biggest things for anybody stepping into being an entrepreneur, being their own boss. It's easy to say I want to be my own boss, but if you've never been your own boss, it's very difficult to step into those shoes.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting is it's not even a matter of employment; it's a matter of life. That if you want to be your own person, then you actually have to give some thought about who is it I want to be, what do I want to do, and you don't have to make hard and fast decisions. Just make choices. Try stuff on. It's like going to a buffet. You know, you try something and go, "Oh, I don't like that." Well, that's okay. So don't taste that anymore. You know, try something else. But just make a choice, try it out. If it fits, great. Then you can have that more often. Now you know what you like. And it's the same thing with life. But you got to think, and you got to take, as you say, it's risks, but it's really just take action. Find out what happens. If you like it, great, keep doing it. If you don't like it, then stop doing it. Do something different.
So I guess I have a question, Bernie, and I know that you're leading this hangout for tonight, and totally awesome that you stepped up into this. I mean, loving it. And it's a learning process, right? Has tonight been like a good learning process for you and kind of putting this hangout together?
Yeah, I feel like a mommy.
Explain that a little bit. So, no, seriously, explain that a little bit, because that's relevant to what we do for these hangouts.
Let me give you an example. When I had my first 3 children, we go to the beach every Saturday morning because the beach is like 20 minutes away, right? So we drive to the beach, got to get all the kids in their swimsuit, got to put all the sunblock on, got to open the snacks, the water, the towels, etc., etc. And you're going out the door and you're telling, okay, you grab this, you grab that, you grab this, because I can't grab everything, right? So anyway, get to the beach, go to the water, time to have something to eat now, and we have no towels. I'm like, oh, geez. But, you know, okay, we got to eat in the sun so we don't get cold and we get sick, you know. But, you know, being a marketing person is the same thing because, I mean, you make mistakes. And that's what's great about being in a team, especially EMP Team on Fire, is that, you know, you're making mistakes and there's Katrina helping you to say, oh, Bernie, your link is broken. Or Doug is saying, oh, Bernie, you forgot to say the keywords, you know. And then Hillary is saying, you know, oh, Bernie, you got to put a capture page on that, you know. I mean, it's great. It's great. Family is great. So, yeah, when you lead a webinar for the team, you got to be prepared, you know. But life is life, and we do the best.
So my question to you, in all the hangouts that we've done, we've been doing this for what, well over a year now. I want to say almost 2 years. I want to say about a year and a half. This has been going on somewhere in that
Right.
when I
I've been
started
with you for a year and a bit.
Yeah, I started this way back when. I don't even. It was just something I used as a bonus. How valuable has this hangout been to you to keep you engaged with Elite Marketing Pro and really give you that? Because I know you just stepped into a brand new role of marketing and product launch for like a local band and everything. So how important was being in this group to you and where you're at today?
Well, the big thing about being in this group for me stepping out to say I can do this for the local band is the fact that you're constantly saying every week, you guys, you can do it, and we're here to ask questions. We go out and we try different things within the Elite Marketing Pro marketing platform, and then it says, yeah, you guys could go out and teach, you guys could go out and do, and just that constant, you guys could do it, that's a big difference.
And did this feel like it happened overnight, or was this like a gradual belief process that you had to kind of go through?
Yeah, it's a gradual, yeah.
So it took some time. You came in and now you're like,
well, because my life, my family, we're entrepreneurs. We have a big meat processing company in Trinidad and Tobago, and it's a successful company. But I have never really been a part of the company since I got married. So I know about risk, I know about entrepreneur. My dad used to talk about it a lot. So I understand being your own boss concept. But I've always been the onlooker versus the actual person taking the decisions. And that is actually, it's a big step in anybody's psyche to understand how to take that big step forward and be the person to make decisions. And it was part of being in this community. I was like, hey, I'm a mom. I have 7 awesome kids. I could do this. I have 4 independent, responsible children, that I could be proud of. I can do this. So.
Awesome. It is scary stepping up into that greatness, isn't it? It's like yeah. I have to make the decisions now, and we are so used to having other people make decisions or somebody to lay blame on, and now it's on you, and it's like,
yeah, exactly.
What do I do now? So that
breathe.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, you've been making decisions, and you've been making decisions for 4 other people that have grown up to be independent, responsible kids. That's right.
Yeah, don't forget your husband.
Oh, that's okay. I was going, wait a minute, there's an extra one there. So, yeah. So, but you've been making decisions, and you've been helping them, come through their life, and you've been doing it all along. And everybody is in the same boat. We all make a lot of decisions. Exactly. We get through life, we do things, and we don't realize our greatness until somebody else points it out to us a lot of times. So, yeah. So I'm going to step back again. It's 3 against 1, girls against guys on this one right now. So
yeah, I know.
I'll be quiet.
So I guess my question to Hillary. I know she hates when I call her around. She just does not like this at all, but that's why I do it.
Yes.
Because you got to know where you're at, and how valuable was it to you, Hillary? I know, Bernie's your sponsor into here. She saw greatness in you and said you should probably get into this, and you were a complete, total newbie when you stepped into this world of internet marketing. You had an MLM that you were trying to promote but weren't having any success with. So you were at a job. You had a baby. You have a Olivia, baby, a little girl, just adorable as all out can get. And you're told. I just remember you coming in as this questionnaire, right? I just call you the questionnaire. Maybe it's an engineer, but you're a questionnaire, right? and it was all about these questions, and it was non-stop questions. And I thought, dear Lord, Bernie, who did you bring into this mastermind? I was like, he doesn't stop asking questions. And every time I answer one, she's got 10 more. I was like, this is never going to stop. It's like having a kid. Like, why? And I'm like, oh my God. But how important was this mastermind to where you're at today? I mean, you fired your boss in 6 months.
I think, yeah, it's you're talking about the questions, and I think it was the first place that I felt comfortable asking my questions and not feeling like, okay, I'm going to be asking a quote-unquote stupid question, you know. And I saw everybody, you know, advancing. So it was like you felt like, okay, I'm safe here. I could get everything that I need in this place. All my questions answered, and all you need to do is take action. Once you know, I know sometimes you'll be telling me what to do, and I'll be in the background doing it, and I'll be like, hit refresh, it's done. So I think this team has really been like a support, because even with, you know, the MLM, you don't get that, like, once you kind of, I don't know, it's like there isn't that motivation. You're not feeling like the wheels turning all the time with your group, unless you have a very dynamic team that you're lucky to be in. But with this team, it's just like, you know, everybody has their own different company, but we see a commonality of what's common with how we have to grow our businesses, and we're helping each other along that path.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's a conflict between all of us just being in different MLMs? Do you think that creates conflict or competition, or is that just something that binds us together?
I think that is what binds us together, because every different company, you know, they provide different types of resources. One, like, I can't remember when it was, but there was something that can't remember who said it, but that's when I thought to myself, that's when I thought to myself, oh, let me go and see if my company has that to offer, you know, because I didn't know about it in my company, and because somebody else mentioned it for their company, I was like, okay, let me go search that out for mine, you know. So it just adds more value when you have different people. Like, I can't remember.
Oh, somebody had
yeah.
Hold on. Hold that thought, Hillary. Somebody has.
Roseanne.
Extra screen.
That's when I thought to myself, oh, let me go and see if my company has that to offer, you know.
Somebody's got the other thing playing in the background there.
Roseanne, you have to go to your next screen and exit out of there. I've done it 10 times at least, Roseanne.
Well, I'm really outnumbered now. Come on, Shane, Jeff, you guys got to get on here.
Okay, Hillary, sorry.
It's either that or I can tell it. Okay, this is my harem, everybody.
So where was I? I can't remember. Yes, you're talking about the conflict, and I don't think that there is a conflict. What I think it does is it really adds more diversity and value, because everybody, everybody at a different level, right? You could see what somebody is doing in their company, and you see how you could apply it to yours. You know, one thing I've learned from you, Katrina, is that, you know, you go ahead and do it, and then it's better to ask for permission than to ask for it's better to ask for forgiveness rather than ask for permission. So you go out there and you try, you know, it's like, okay, could I do a capture page with this on? You go ahead and try it. The worst that could happen is you get slapped, you know. So I've learned a lot of boldness from this team.
Very good.
I actually like that. I've learned boldness from this team.
Yeah.
The no fear factor.
Yes.
Oh, so the question I would have, and this is open to anybody, would you feel like as a group, that we make mistakes and then we share what those mistakes are. Like, how many times have you guys like heard even me or Doug say, it's like, oops, totally screwed that up. I have no idea what I was doing. I just did it anyways. And have we kind of like even exposed some mistakes that we've made for years that we didn't know we were making?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And what does that do for you guys? Like, how does that help you learn how to run your business?
I think it just shows us that you're going like 2 steps forward, and sometimes you go 1 step back, but you're going 2 steps forward and then 1 step back, and it's a progression, but learning along the way.
Can you all hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just you guys are skipping in and out. For some reason, I was only able to get on my mobile device, like somebody said, but I can't hear you all very well. But I did hear the question, and for me, that it's also very encouraging. Not only like what Roseanne said, you know, it saves you a step, but I find it I have found it very encouraging that because you know, for example, somebody like me who, you know, just was so green coming in, you can feel like you're the only person who doesn't know this stuff. And it's so encouraging to know that you're not alone, that that there are other people who you know, I would come in looking up and in my eyes were like, oh my gosh, I'll never know everything all these people know. And to know that not really that long ago, they were kind of in the same shoes. To me, you know, to me it was very encouraging.
Yeah, and you had some recent successes. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're booming in leads on the board. Tell us about that. What's going on? Spill the beans. Come on, we're live.
Just, you know, what I always try to share is that when you learn something new, you know, even if it's a small step, implement it. And that's what I've been trying to do. Just everything that I've been learning on these calls, everything that I've, you know, learned from this group is just so valuable to me because it's very nurturing. And so I feel encouraged, and I put to use the things that I try to put to use the things that I'm learning, and you see results. You know, it may not be, you know, overnight and everything. You know, obviously, I'm not on the leaderboards and stuff like that, but but it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
You know, you just that's all I've done is do the little things, and you know, even if it's just a couple, that to take a step forward, and you'll start to see the results. You will see results.
Another quick question for you. Inside this group, I mean, we talk about being in different MLMs. Was consistency something that you saw more with this group, like learning what consistency was?
It put you know, because you said everybody's doing something different, you can just apply it. I saw the fruits of other people's consistencies, because sometimes that's really vague. I mean, it just sounds like, oh, okay, it's very inspirational, it's very motivational. You see, you know, people's inspirational quotes on their, you know, on their sites. But when you come to a hangout like this and you hear the stories of somebody saying, you know what, I wrote something every day, or you know, I did something on I followed up, or I started doing this one step every day, and now, you know, I'm seeing the fruit of that consistency. Then it kind of, you know, it's like you could say, you know what, this isn't in theory anymore. I know somebody who's doing it, or you know, this person I talked to just, you know, 2 weeks ago, and they weren't having any results, and now they are, because of consistency. So it is very, I think it's very encouraging, because yeah, you put a face to it now, and you can say, oh yeah, I know that. It's very personal now.
Yeah, I do agree, and I see Hillary laughing. I want Hillary to chime in on the consistency and vagueness. I want you to throw in your 2 cents with Sandra on that one.
Yeah, but consistency, I think it's during the 60-day challenge, that's when consistency started to happen for me. Doing one piece of action every day. And at first, when I came in, I kept hearing people talking about massive action. So I was just like, okay, great. I'm going to be on Facebook like for a whole week. And then the 60-day challenge came around and I was just like, you have to be on Facebook like 60 days every day. And you have to write a blog every day. And you have to do a video every day. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot. But that is where consistency comes in doing one thing. And the 60-day challenge, I focused on blogging. So I blogged almost every day. And that was my focus. That was my massive action, the daily action. And now it's like blogging is kind of like brushing my teeth now. It just has to get done on a daily basis. And being in a community that motivates you and helps you, you remember, it's kind of like you're reminded, okay, what was the one thing that I did? Because if you do nothing at all, then you're breaking that consistency. You have to just do one piece, one little bit of action, and then when you do that for 60 days, do it for 120 days, and then it becomes so natural that now you can jump to something else. And then you add that on to that and add it on and add it on. And that is where consistency comes. It's from actually doing it every day. It's not, okay, I'm going to be consistent. No. If you're going to be an author.
Right. I got a question for you, Hillary.
Mm-hmm. You have a question.
Where do you get your content from? I have a question for you, Hillary. Where do you get your content from?
Well, now from everywhere, but when I first started, it was actually What's Working Now, the publication that you get when you join with EMP. Is at the annual level, right, Katrina?
It actually comes with any EMP membership. You get access to What's Working Now, which is awesome.
Right.
That is a very good tip.
Yeah, so that's where my content first started, and now it's like that was kind of like my training ground because I didn't know where to get content, so EMP actually provided that for me. So every month I would read What's Working Now and read the articles, internalize it, apply it, and then write about it. And that's pretty much how my first 60-day challenge content came about. It was from the What's Working Now publication. Now I use different other publications. I would go on different websites, business websites, read some articles, but that was my foundation, understanding how to do it, and taught me that.
How about you, Bernadette? Where does your content come from?
Well, I actually used to get my contents from the webinars that I was on, because my fingers are just so automatic, and my words. I've created my own shorthand, shorthand, and I write everything when I go to a webinar, and then for like at least 3 days, I break that content up from the webinar, and I make 3 pieces out of it. And I used to also pull it from books that I was reading. I would pull it from the couple of the leaders that I was following. And yes, I had What's Working Now. And when Hillary told me where she was getting her content from, I says, silly me, of course. So I use What's Working Now as well.
Yeah. Anywhere that you can learn something. And even better is questions that other people are asking. When you go and find out the answer to that, and then just share the answers. It's so that's real simple.
Yeah.
How about you?
And then Ray Higdon also gave me a great idea. It's like when you go out and you have conversations with people on social media, and they ask you a question, they're like, "Okay, I'll go do a video on that."
Yeah. Answer questions that other people
video
have.
and shoot it back.
Yeah. How about you, Katrina? I see you've kind of gotten more focused recently. So, where do you get your inspiration for content? for in content being what you write about, you know, the information that you share?
Honestly, it's from you guys. Most of my content comes from you guys. The questions you ask, what's stopping you from moving forward, and really trying to provide more of the little steps of what it does it take to just get into action again. Because action is like, an action is a strange word, like, you know, massive action is a strange terminology, consistency is that vague terminology, and that vagueness drives me insane because I want to know exactly what you're doing. Like, don't beat around the bush. Like, what things are missing out there? And so when people ask, even me, like, what are you doing to build this team? I'm like, and it's a vague question to me because there's so many little details that go on in this mastermind because it changes based on your questions and where you're at in your business, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if we have a brand new newbie in, what's the first thing we do? We ask them where they're at, and then this whole community is then focused on bringing that person up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sandra can probably relate to that. I mean, when you came in, that was one of the big things, right? Was like, what questions do you have, right? Like, where are you struggling with the system? And we were all answering and trying to provide solutions because all of us are at different points in our business.
Mm-hmm.
And how valuable was that in being in here?
Were you talking to me? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm talking to you, young lady.
It's huge. That was huge for me. And you all were such a resource for me. And then when I started writing, my content, a lot of my content came from Hangouts, came from our other masterminds that we did together. And you know, I'm not kidding when I write and say how much what attraction marketing was for me, attraction marketing formula, because I got a lot of stuff from that. And I think it was Hillary that was talking about you know, about questions, or you know, the questions that you had before. You have to think about what kind of questions people have. Well, that's really fresh in my mind because, you know, I had a lot of questions and still have a lot of questions. And as I get those answered, I know that if I have these questions, you know, it's very likely that other people have these questions too.
Yes.
So that becomes, you know, good content.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull Roseanne into this conversation. She's been kind of hiding out quietly in the background. And I know that each of us has a progression. Some of us progress quickly. Some of us, I mean, and it's all of us, progression. But what has been your progression or growth with Elite Marketing Pro? What brought you into the Elite Marketing Pro system, and then what has the hangout that we put together done for you?
Progression. Really, really the whole concept of having it all here, and I don't have to go searching for the pieces, but then understanding all the pieces of how it goes together. It just is like learning Latin or French, but understanding the concept of, okay, you got to do this, 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 and this, and then really listening to, like you all have had on the experts on the 29 conversation, where even the experts have said, I didn't do it in the first year or the first month, but I did it in the third year. and it's like, okay, I've still got some learning to go yet, you know. So
not that bad.
and that's encouraging. and still it's like going back, and I'm learning Latin or French, and I'm figuring it out, working on figuring it out every day. We're thinking about it every day.
Does the community support you for this? Like, do you feel like coming in here helps?
It seems like I'll pick up different pieces of it. It still feels like not like a minefield, or it feels like, you know, you're stepping on rocks and you're jumping from one rock to the other rock, and another person's on another rock, and it's like, okay, what are you doing over there? And how are you doing that? And maybe I should just be thinking about the rock I'm on and figuring out my rock, and then going to the next thing. It's just it's like learning Latin, and we're working at figuring it out, learning how to talk the talk, and if you understand what I mean.
Are you happy?
I understand totally what you're talking about. Absolutely. Because you feel like you're trying to figure this out, and you're looking around at all these other people that you think have it all figured out, right?
Yeah, y'all are at different levels of expertise, you know, so it's like, okay, I guess I wrote a blog, and I still have to post it yet, and it's about comparing yourself to others. Right. And it's like, okay, I've really just got to accept where I'm at right now and learn and grow from here, and not be comparing to everybody else at a different step, because then I get more and more frustrated if I do. Yeah. And then just, okay, let me grow right from here to the next and the next and the next.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. Where are you right now compared to where you were 6 months ago?
I don't know. So, a lot farther than I was.
Yeah.
But
okay.
yet.
So just stop right there. Just stop right there and think about where you were 6 months ago and where you are now. And 6 months ago, you were probably saying the same thing to yourself that you're saying right now. It's like, oh, I have so much farther to go. I'll never figure this out. But look how much you've figured out in 6 months. And I mean, I want to give you a pat on the back, because you are. I mean, everybody, we can applaud you, because you have so much expertise now. You're just not giving yourself credit for it.
Well, I know.
You know that? Yeah.
I know.
So
it'll come. Just like listening to what's his face last week? What was his face?
Bob Clark?
Yes. And he's like, it took him like 3 years to connect and to really, you know, excel. And so it's like, okay, I'm working.
Yeah. Can you give yourself credit for how much you've already learned?
It's almost like it feels like, okay, I have a little bit here, and I have a little bit here, and I have a little bit here and a little bit there, and it's like, okay, just connect, and let's go forward. And can I give myself credit? I can. I have to give myself. I have to put the time in, and
Roseanne?
Yeah.
You've put your time in.
Yeah.
Seriously, your time is now to just step into your greatness. You've built your blog. Things people oh my God, you've built a blog, you put blog posts on it, you've connected at live events with the most amazing people, and you give back and you try to help other people find their path. I mean, you are seriously at a point right now, you know too much. No, seriously, you know too much, and accept where you're at, is that this is always going to be a learning place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that definitely. And I liked what Bernie said about, you know, any webinar, she creates like 3 sessions out of it, and it's almost like I was listening to another webinar, and I was like, I should write a blog right after this, 300 words after everything I learn. You know, like, there's my blog. So yeah.
Doug, I think that's a really important piece there. Like, every 6 months, you should take a look at how far you've come. Because, like, I'm sitting here, I'm on my phone in this Hangout, and I was just looking at my computer, and I realized that 8 months ago, I didn't even know what Hootsuite was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No way. That had to be 4 or 5 years ago, Hillary.
8 months ago, I didn't know what MailChimp was, what AWeber was, you know, so it's like, you really, and to a certain extent, you think that, okay, that's just a little thing. It's just like, okay, it's email, but it's like, hello, I didn't know what it was. It's like somebody not knowing what gravity was, and now all of a sudden they know what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that's really important. Every 6 months, take a check of where you've come from, because you forget, because as you know, you're always learning. So as you're always learning, you feel as if, oh gosh, I don't know anything. But that's just because you're learning. But think about how much you've learned and how much you've shared. Because a part of this is like, you know, you learn, do a brain dump, sharing it with people.
Yeah. That's okay.
To most people, Roseanne, you're a guru. You just don't realize it yet.
Yeah.
But you are. You know more than 90% of the people out there. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you.
And that's so true, Doug. You know,
Here's what I want you to do. That's right. Roseanne, I want you to turn around. I want you to turn around and look behind you and look up on the wall.
I know.
Look at all that stuff up there.
Yeah.
You got awards from all over the place. Congratulations. You're a guru.
Thank you. That's another guru. That's another Roseanne.
No, it's the same Roseanne.
No, it's not.
That's the same Roseanne. You're just hiding it. But it's isn't it amazing how we have, I mean, amazing competence in one area, and then we get started in this internet thing, and we just feel like babies that don't know a darn thing. And so we learn and learn and learn, and we learn and learn and learn, and we still think we don't know anything. But you know so much more than 95% of the people out there. So give yourself credit. Take down one of those awards, put it on your chest there, and say, "This is my internet award."
Right. This is what I do.
I earned it.
I was trying to put a graduation cap on Roseanne, but I guess I can't do that.
That's not what it looked like to me.
She was like,
you were at the beach there,
so I ended up.
Scuba.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So this weekend at the birthday party, my nephew was helping me light the candles for the birthday cake, and he burnt his hand with the match. So he bawled, "Ow, ow, ow, it's burning, it's burning, it's burning." So I said, "Okay, give me the mustard." And I put the mustard on him, and he refused to let me put the mustard on him. And he's like, "Well, why does the mustard work? Why does the mustard work?" I says, "I don't know, but it works." And I mean, like, 2 years ago, I wouldn't know what to say to that question. It's like, I don't know why it works, it just works.
Yeah. That's perfect.
And that really works?
Yeah.
Birds mustard, yes.
Yeah, because
The Marines
you
use
put your
it.
finger in your mouth to get the mustard off, and so it always feels better when you put your finger in your mouth, right?
Wow.
So that's great.
Wow, you see, I learned something new in this group tonight. I did not know.
That's
Any
right.
Use
burn.
mustard on a burn.
Any burn, mustard. It's got to be the yellow
Wow.
mustard, not the
Wow.
spicy mustard, not the brown mustard, not the Dijon mustard. Yellow mustard.
Wow.
Yellow mustard.
Wow.
We don't
Okay.
talk just marketing in here. We talk everything.
That's right.
Everything.
How to make cakes.
Another, thank you. That's another secret chef tip that Katrina and I can use. So that's great.
Yeah, the end of your chef ingredients says, and mustard works on burns.
That's right. Well, Bernadette, you're in charge here. I'm going to ask your permission to leave. I actually
Oh, we have to go to Doug's and
Fine.
Andrews. Yes, we have to go
So,
hang out with those guys. Guys, it was awesome. It was great. Roseanne, it was great for you to come out and say those wonderful words. And I need you to put in the chat somewhere your blog site so we could come and comment on your blog tomorrow in case we miss it on the Google+.
And
So
actually,
when you share it.
we
So,
want the blog post. We
That's
want the
right.
blog post that you haven't
Yes.
published yet out.
Oh,
We
yeah.
want to talk.
I
That's
get it.
the one
I
we
get
want to comment on. You've got to put that out there. I'll tell you this. Can I just share something really horrible at sharing? Horrible at sharing what's going on in my life. Because it is hard to say that last month I struggled to pay rent, or it was hard to put food on the table, or I had to, figure out how to feed my dog and I had $3 in my account. Things like that are hard to say. But they're a reality of this business. And you've got to be willing to share the reality, and it's not all sunshine and roses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? There is this up, down, up, down, up, down, and you just feel like you're on this massive roller coaster and you're wondering if it's ever going to even out. And that's the first 3 years of this business.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Accept it. Be prepared for it. Be prepared to cry yourself to sleep one night.
Yeah. I've got some exciting news to share with you next week, so stay tuned for that.
Wait, who's got exciting news?
I do. I've got exciting news to share. And Bernadette, I'm looking forward to reading the post about mustard on your burns.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that.
Huh? Yeah,
Yeah.
the power of mustard, or whatever it is. I can't wait to see the headline you come up with.
If you end this broadcast, Bernie, if you guys want to stick around, I have some news I want to share with you guys. That's pretty exciting, and
so
I haven't
everybody
revealed it
say
yet.
Goodbye.
Okay?
So
We'll
big reveal
sign
for my
off.
team, but thanks guys for hanging out with us. What, Hillary?